It's been 1 week since I dove deep into the brand new Galaxy Fold 4 and its accessories, testing out Samsung's ecosystem after being stuck in Apple's for many years. So here are my honest thoughts and opinions. Now, last year with the Fold 3, I was really disappointed and fairly harsh in my review. So do I still hate Samsung's foldables or have things changed? Well, honestly, I really only have a few complaints. So let's dive in. The design of the Fold is fantastic. The quality is top notch. The hinge is much improved, and the seam that is still here isn't noticeable day to day. It's weird saying that something actually feels higher quality than my 13 Pro, but it does. It is very solid. Now on this side right here with this front screen, this is one area that I complained about last year. This has been much improved. We have a full-size screen here. It is really bright, and it could go all the way down to 1 Hertz, which saves a lot of battery. That's gonna be important in a second. As far as usability, I really like how narrow the phone is, and it's very comfortable to hold in the hand, even though it is thick. And then when you open it up, compared to last year, way more apps are optimized and work properly, whereas before, some wouldn't even go full screen. I absolutely love the bar here at the bottom, so you can quickly switch to a different application. The first time I used it was actually completely by accident, and then it hit me, wow, I literally just did that naturally, and it's just so quick for the apps that you use often. Overall, the whole phone is extremely fast with that updated Snapdragon processor. Now, of course, on the CPU, not much has changed, but as far as graphics, it has gotten much better. And playing games on the Fold 4 is amazing with this large screen. There's no slowdowns, heat is not an issue, it's a great experience. But for my favorite game, which is Call of Duty, and probably others like it, it actually isn't great. Not because the visuals aren't good, it's because of the aspect ratio. Certain things on the sides get cut out, and there'd be people, opponents, that I straight up would not see compared to a regular wide phone. Now, as for regular use, I want to talk briefly about the new watch. I think this is the first Android watch in a long time that is actually good. Performance is great, I like the look of it. The only issue is that it's kind of thick, and I don't love the controls, that it's all touchscreen, and then that we have these buttons, we don't have that dial anymore, but the battery life is ridiculous. You can go 2 full days and you still have some extra power compared to my Apple Watch, which only does about 1 day, and then if you're using things like maps, or you're doing a lot of active tracking for workouts, it could be half a day and it's gone. So I think Android, other than the design, the watches are finally at a point where they do work well, and if you're using a Samsung phone and you want a smartwatch, don't hesitate, I think you'll enjoy it. Now, there's a couple more things that really surprised me about the Fold. The first are the speakers. They were pretty good last year, but this year they are amazing. Beats my iPhone and the Pro Max version in every single way. Loudness, bass, Samsung has done a really good job. So if you're watching videos, if you're listening to music, the experience is wonderful. And then of course you can cup them. That way the sound actually bounces off your hands right into your ears instead of being front facing, and both speakers are the same. And with that, the video quality as well. Now, this is a large screen and it's square, so yes, if you zoom in, some stuff gets cut out, but even without zooming in, the size of the video is still bigger than the 13 Pro Max. The HDR also looks better. It is brighter, more contrast. The visual experience is fantastic. Now, with that, I want to bring in these headphones as well. These Buds 2 Pro are amazing. I've been using AirPods Pro ever since they came out, and each time Samsung releases new earbuds, they keep getting better. And these now are better than the AirPods Pro in almost every single way. The sound quality, amazing. Microphones have been much improved. Noise cancellation is better. I was flying with them, and I actually didn't use my AirPods Max. I was just using these. Comfort is really good. I think up to 3 hours. That's really the only downside, where after about 3 hours, I start getting some pain around where they touch my ear. But other than that, I mean, Samsung is really killing it. And no, Samsung did not provide any of these products for us to review. We bought all of them. So earbuds, fantastic. Now, of course, if you're using it with your iPhone, you don't have all the extra features that I love. So that is a downside there. But getting back to the Fold, I want to talk about the cameras because last year they were not good. This year though, we have had a huge upgrade, and in our blind camera comparison, the Fold 4 actually beat out the S22 Ultra updated and the iPhone as well. It doesn't have that telephoto shot, so sometimes it did worse, but overall, the images look great. The portrait shots are amazing. Even the inside camera, even though I typically wouldn't use it, it's gotten a lot better, and I've been using it to use Face Unlock. It works fast every time, very consistent. So there's no longer a compromise spending way more money but getting worse cameras because they were great. And I think the 50 megapixel camera, it actually does better for processing because it's a lot less pixels. And then with it for video, the video actually looks pretty good as well, because with the S22 Ultra, I mean, you're just throwing away so much data, where this one, it looks good. Now, the only thing I would say is that sometimes it's a little too oversaturated, a little bit over sharpened as far as the video, but Samsung's definitely come a long way. Still not the level of the video on the iPhone, that's definitely ahead, but they are heading in the right direction. And the last thing that surprised me was the battery life. The battery is larger in here. There's a lot more optimizations, better processor. The screens go lower as far as the frequency, and you get 8 to 9 hours of mid to heavy use. And that's very surprising. So it's no longer a downgrade. And then with that, the one thing that I kind of found is that after about 3 days or so, I ended up using the front screen way more often because it's way more usable now. So I would say towards the end of that week, I was using probably 80% the front screen and then really opening it up when I needed that larger display. And at that point, the battery life got even better. And that's when I started kind of questioning, do I really need a foldable phone if only 20% of the time I'm using this screen here and I'm preferring the normal phone like I have in years past? Kind of the novelty started to wear off. And with that, the S Pen didn't get that much use. Now, one reason is just because there's no spot for it. You know, you have that extra case that Samsung has that makes it a lot more bulky. It doesn't feel great in your pocket. And a few times I just left it here, and then I went on a trip and I also left it as well. I think if there's one thing that could make this better, it would just be to have the S Pen built in, even if that means a little bit worse battery life. If they have to, you know, make some space for that pen, it would just take it up just another level to have it with you at all times. And with that, we have, of course, the price. People expected foldable phones to come down in price after they've been out a couple years, but they haven't. This thing's still very expensive. Now, Samsung does give you sales. They'll give you some accessories. They'll give you a larger storage capacity if you pre-ordered, but that's not the same as dropping this thing down to say $1,500, maybe $1,400. Now, will they ever do it? I'm not sure, but at this point, it is just such an expensive phone for people to buy. Now, me personally, I don't think I need this. I feel like at that price point and the fact that after a week, I'm mostly using the front screen, I'd rather just have an iPad in my bag for those times where I do want the full display, and then when I don't, have a much smaller regular phone. But with that said, they've done a lot of little innovations. They've changed a lot of things compared to the previous one. Software is catching up, but I think this year is the first year where it is a lot more viable for a lot of people. And then with that, when you factor in what they've done for their earbuds, way better than Apple's at this point. With the watch, also a lot more improved killer battery life. It's an ecosystem that does really well and you're not as tied in. Now, compared to Apple, of course, the iMessage thing, you know, some people will send you a message and you won't get it because they're sending it to your email, or group messages suck. I mean, those are the kind of things that hold you back, or if you're used to iCloud sharing for photos. AirTags is a big one for me. I'm using a lot of AirTags now. That's where it's also harder to move over. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Are you happy with the Fold 4? I think it's been a much bigger improvement than I expected, and overall it is a great device. If only they could fix those couple issues that I still think they need to address. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click that circle above if you guys want to see more videos like this one. Check out those blind camera comparisons. If you haven't seen them, they're super fun. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next video.